to wear a coat and tie. The broadcast is
Yeah, I
live.
gotcha. There we go.
So,
We are live.
all right, guys. We are live with Pete Fulch, who is a good friend of mine, a master motivational speaker, and just all around one of the nicest guys I've ever met, guys. I think you are in store for a lot of fun, and Pete always brings the energy, and it will be something that's impactful. So, a few years ago, I had a conversation like this with Pete where I went to a seminar when he was just starting out, and he probably doesn't know this, but it actually changed the way that I set and attack my goals ever since. So I think that's going back 5 or 6 years, Pete. It's been a while, but you want
Yeah,
to introduce yourself and
it
say
has
hi
been a
to
while.
everybody? And yeah, it's been a minute. So
Well,
welcome, Pete,
yes.
and
Well,
thank you
thank
for
you. Well,
being here.
thank Don and the team behind the scenes that are supporting this call here, and thank you to all of you who have signed on to our session this afternoon. As Robbie mentioned, my name is Pete Fulch, and I do a lot of keynote speaking and workshop training, and I do some coaching and consulting in the areas of leadership development, personal development, and I love investing in people. I love investing in the growth of people to help them unleash their potential. So I'm hoping my audio is coming through here. I'm getting a signal that I might not
You're
be.
coming through nice.
My audio may
Coming through
not be.
very well.
Oh, okay, coming through very well. Okay, thank you. So again, thank you everyone for coming on. I hope that with this discussion this afternoon that you're going to have some tangible tools that you can take with you after this on the subject of goal setting, especially as we go into 2023. This is a common time where people look at where have I been, where do I want to go in terms of the new year coming. So thank you again.
Yeah, I mean that's again going back to 6, 7 years ago when you first started out and you taught me that first time, how to set goals, which we're going to get into today. But ever since then, at this point in the year, from really about midway through November through the end of the year, we look at what works, what didn't work, what we're going to double down on going into the next year, what we're going to get rid of altogether, and just set big goals, small goals, I kind of say it like this. I like to set goals that I think are very hard to achieve. And it may take me a couple of years or 3 to 5 years to get there, but I love when you can set those goals out 3 to 5 years and then actually achieve them down the road. And they're generally, for me, they're big, lofty, bold goals. And so on this channel,
Yes.
we encourage people to think big and to dream big. And we'll talk about the difference between dreams and goals later on. But
Yeah.
goals that are big, that are just bold, that's what we like to encourage. We love encouraging entrepreneurship. So just so you get a feel for who we are, Pete, and what we're doing here. But let's kind of jump right into why goal setting is so important.
Thank you, Robbie. That's a great question, and definitely want to open up with the big why. Why is this so important? I want to open up by sharing you a story from several years ago, back in the year 2000, 2001, 2002. All across the nation, there were these big, giant seminars that were held in arenas called Get Motivated. And later they changed them to Success 2001, Success 2002, etc. And so you'd have powerful speakers like Zig Ziglar and Dr. Robert Schuller and Lou Holtz and Tony Robbins and Les Brown, folks like that speaking at these seminars. So you'd have 18,000 people in the crowd coming to see 9 to 10 different speakers throughout the day. So UCLA did a study as to what's the profile of the people that are attending these seminars. And so as they did their research, they found, first of all of these folks that came from a wide diversity of backgrounds and industries, development. No surprise there. Where they saw a big difference is in the subject of goal setting. The goal setters versus the non-goal setters. The goal setters were categorized as folks that took the time to write down their goals and put together a plan of action. When they looked at the income level of those folks, the non-goal setters, their average income are year 2000 numbers approximately. The income of the non-goal setters was $3,397 a month, or an average income of about $41,000 a year. Contrast that with the goal setting group. The goal setting group, their average income was $7,401 a month, or an average of $89,000 a year. The goal setters were averaging more than double the income of the non-goal setters. They also found, from a health standpoint, that the goal setters were healthier people. The non-goal setters had a higher incidence of heart disease and medical issues, high blood pressure, diabetes. The goal setters were much more healthier. Also, they found, from a relationship standpoint, the divorce rate was higher with the non-goal setters versus the goal setters. And lastly, they found that the overall sense of well-being and confidence was so much higher with the goal setters versus the non-goal setters. So goal setting can really change your life.
I mean, that's pretty compelling research there.
Yeah.
And one of my goals is to not continue to be a type 2 diabetic. So I'm gonna put that out there as a big goal that I would love to achieve.
There you go.
I love to hear the stats and the research and that stuff like that. So if goal setting is so important, why is it that so many people don't do it, Pete?
Well, that's a great question. And also, just some other research that I uncovered not too long ago. Goal setting, they found that the goal setting releases the power of your motivation. You're a whole lot more motivated when you have a goal and you know where you're going. You have a sense of purpose. Goal setting releases the power of your energy. And so you wake up, you're not fumbling around in the morning as to what I'm supposed to be doing. You've got a goal, you've got a purpose. Goal setting also releases the power of your creativity. You're more apt to find a way to make it happen because you've got a goal. Goal setting also releases the power of your problem solving skills. You're much less likely to quit when you encounter an obstacle because you've got a goal. Goal setting also releases the power of your confidence because you've got a goal, you have a plan to get there, and it also releases the power of your efficiency. You waste less time. So to your question, Robbie, in terms of why people don't set goals, I think it comes down to four main areas why people don't set goals. The first area is I call fear. And there's several different types of fear. First of all, there's fear of failure. If I don't set a goal, I can't fail. So, however, we got to remind ourselves that anybody who's achieved something great has had to go through failure, has to go through setbacks. And so I think some of us may have heard from a coach or a teacher or a manager, a failure to plan is a plan to fail. So some other fears are out there is sometimes people fear rejection. What will other people think? Because goal setting is not, some research says only 3% of the population really set goals. So what will other people think? I tell my marathoners that I train, I said, when you are starting your training program for your very first marathon, be careful who you share that with. You're going to be running a marathon. You're training to run 26.2 miles. So some people have the fear of what other people might think. Sometimes in the corporate world, you'll have the fear of success. Well, if I'm successful, more going to be expected of me, which is kind of funny thinking here. I would rather be in a situation that my supervisor is expecting more of me and believes in me and believes in my ability than to say, well, I don't want to have high expectations set. So that's fear. Number two, Robbie, is it's a self-image issue. Some people may not see themselves as worthy of accomplishing a particular goal. And sometimes you hear this, because some may think, oh, that's not me, but listen to your language sometimes there. Oh, I could never do that. Oh, I could never go back to school and get a degree. Oh, I could never get up in front of people and speak. I could never get out of debt. I could never own my own business. I could never own my own house. I could never run a marathon. So that language is symptomatic of a low self-image, saying I could never do that. That's not true. That's not
Yeah.
true. So number three,
That's
called.
that's not true. And we say on this channel that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
You're good. You're
I
good.
like to reiterate on our way of thinking here is that if maybe the single best thing you can do for yourself is to change that mindset from I can't, whatever the I can't is, to how can I? And that one
Right.
simple thing can change people's lives. If you can get out of the I can't get out of debt, I can't buy a house, I can't, because if you're telling yourself you can't, you're absolutely right. You're never going to be able to do it. And if you start asking yourself the question, how could I? How could I do this? How could I go back to school? How could I get out of debt? How could I own my own house? How could I start my own business? It's a powerful tool, guys. This mindset will change your life, and we've said it on this channel a lot of times. We're gonna continue to kind of broadcast that to the world, because I think it's something that we all do at times. We all tell ourselves these negative things, and so when you catch yourself
Right.
and you change the question to how can I, you're really changing the paradigm. You're changing, absolutely changing what the effect is going to be. So.
Language. You're
Sorry,
right,
I didn't mean
Robbie.
to.
No, you're good. That language
Yeah,
is so
language matters.
important.
Yeah,
Something that
language matters a lot.
some of you may be familiar with the name Zig Ziglar. He passed away a few years ago here, but when he'd always taught goal setting, he says, some of you out there have never been sold on goal setting. And the illustration that I like to use is GPS. Now, I'm old enough to remember the old Rand McNally maps out there. And even before the Rand McNally maps, I remember the fold-out maps you used to get at the filling station. So then now GPS comes out. Is it going to really work? Well, first time I used GPS, it got to me to where I needed to go. And so later in this discussion, when I take you through the 7-step formula, you're going to really see that this is a formula, this is a process that will get you to where you want to go. So that's how some people have never been sold. And the fourth reason is people don't know how. And once again, after today's conversation that Robbie and I have, hopefully you've got a better understanding of how to go about the process of goal setting. So those are some of the reasons people hesitate to set goals.
Yeah, I appreciate what you just said there. People may not know how to set the goals. And I think I came to you, again, I keep going back to the time that I took your class 6 years ago. I thought that I knew how to set goals, but I left there differently. And it really was impactful and has changed the way that I deal with goal setting ever since. So I hope that if anybody gets anything out of this talk that we have, that's what they get, is you can teach yourself a new skill set. And setting goals is a powerful skill set for all of the reasons that Pete just laid out. So Pete, I want to ask, can you talk to us for a second about the difference between dreams and goals? And I think they're both important. And let's dive into a little bit and unpack that. What's the difference between a dream versus a goal? Uh-oh. Did I lose Pete? Hello.
Great.
Pete, I lost you.
Yeah.
We're having a connection issue, Pete.
Uh-oh. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, now.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. All right. But on the full moon out there, sometimes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the difference between a dream and a goal, first of all, it all begins with a dream. And I encourage folks to dream. And Robbie, I don't know if you remember way back when we had that seminar, the 3-hour session, we have a dreaming session. So it's important. But what is the difference between a dream and a goal? I'm going to highlight 6 different that those taking notes here. Number 1, dream is not well defined. A goal is very well defined. Example here. I hear people say, hey, I want to get in better shape. Okay, that's a dream. It's not clear. What does better shape mean? Does better shape mean that I'm losing weight? Does better shape mean that I gain weight? Does better shape mean I can run a 5K in a certain amount of time? Does better shape mean I lower my cholesterol? Does better shape that I can lift a certain amount of weight? So again, getting better shape is not very clear. Okay, so it has to be well defined. What indicates you are in better shape? Number 2, a dream is not realistic. A goal is realistic. Now, let me put a little asterisk with that one, because I do encourage going after big goals, goals that stretch you, goals that push you. However, again, we want to make sure we're trying to achieve is realistic in terms of the plan we have to get there. So if somebody says, "Hey, I want to be someday, I want to be I want to be on the first colony on Pluto." Well, that's wonderful, but we have yet to get a colony going on the moon or Mars. So in your lifetime, could it be, so that'd be an example. I know some people may want to lose. I want to lose 100 pounds in a week. That's not realistic. That's not healthy. So we want to be careful. I want to build the world's tallest building on this little island in the Pacific where the soil is very sandy. Those are so we want to make sure that a goal is realistic. We've thought it through. We've thought it out to plan to get there. Number 3, a goal does not have a plan. Or excuse me, strike that. A dream does not have a plan. A goal has a plan. Sometimes you hear this language. Someday when I have more time. Someday when the situation is just right. Someday when the weather is just right. Someday when I am retired, so they're just right. Okay, so the goal has a plan of action, a dream. Number 4, there is no time frame with a dream. It's out there someday to happen. The goal is very time bound, and we're going to expand that. Number 5, dreams do not have a daily pursuit. Goals do. When I have a problem every day that. And lastly, a dream does not inspire a first step. A goal, properly set goal, you've got a game plan, you've got a deadline, and it's time to get going. So goals inspire a first step, dreams do not. So those are the basic differences between a dream and a goal. And we got a dream. It begins with a dream, but we got to take our dreams and put them into good, solid, well put together goals.
Yeah, I used to think of it like this. I still think of it like this. When I've had dreams that I then turned into goals, how do I make sure that my dreams are realistic? And as a businessman, the way that I've done that throughout the last 25 years is basically, has anybody else ever done this successfully? If I can get an answer of yes to that question, then I have a realistic expectation that I could start that business or I could do that thing. So, and that's pretty lofty. There are some things that other people have been successful at that I never will be successful at, but I like that belief. The idea of going to Pluto, while that sounds awful, no one's ever done that successfully, so that wouldn't fall into my criteria of how I would go about turning a dream into a goal, right? But people have started real estate businesses. People have, rented towels on the beach in Puerto Rico, and people have built hotels, and so those things are attainable to anybody who's out there listening to us. And they know that they're attainable because someone else has been successful to do it.
Yes.
So that leads to my next question then, Pete, is that there must be a formula to turn dreams into goals and to get goals to completion.
Yes. If I, to you or your audience asked you what 5 times 5 is, you say, okay, Pete, we know what the answer to 5 is because we know the formula to get there. But if I asked you what is 3,206 times, gave you a pen and paper without the calculator, you could still figure it out because you know the formula. And so with goal setting, there is a 7-step formula, and I will give credit to Ziglar and the Ziglar organization because this is where it began for me. This 7-step formula that so what I'm going to do here is, for the time I'm doing this, in a setting like this is I'm going to tackle 2 goals. I'm going to walk you through the 7-step process, attacking a business goal and attacking a personal goal. So let's say that you're a business person and you want to increase your sales, increase your business, or maybe you have a personal goal if you'd like to lose some weight. So we're going to walk through this step by step, and I want to give you some real tangible tools as to how you go out with both of these, setting a proper goal. So step number 1, for those of you taking notes, and by the way, for credibility, sheets right here. Use these for 7-8 years. Right, my family uses. So after this show that we record here, if you want me to send them to Robbie or whoever to forward them on, we can do that. But anyway, step number 1 with goal setting is identify your goal. What do I mean by that? Why is that important? It's important to have a very specific, tangible, measurable goal. So in the first scenario, I want to increase sales. Okay, that's not tangible yet. Sales by 15%. That's measurable. That's tangible. I want to increase sales to a certain level, whatever that level is in dollar amounts. That's tangible. I can measure that. I can get to that. For the personal goal, identify your goal. I just don't want to lose weight. I want to lose 15 pounds. Or I have 215 pounds, or 230 pounds, but I want to reduce my weight. The scale is going to read 2 pounds by such and such time. Okay. So those are 2, a personal and a business goal here. I'm identifying the goal. It has to be very specific. Cannot be willy-nilly. It cannot be subjective. It really needs to be specific. Now, I also will mention here too is sometimes the goals. What I mean by that is some people say, hey, in 23, I want to read more. I want to spend 30 minutes. Well, you can turn that into a goal by keeping track of your daily 30 minutes you read. So people goals discipline into their life, and that's too. So anyway, step 1, identify your goal and be very specific. This is where some of you may have heard specific, memorable. That's what we mean. Identify your goal. Step number 2 is, and the query says, my benefits from reaching the goal. What are my benefits from reaching that goal? Why is that important? It's important to put down the benefits because that will help you sustain the motivation that you need. So I want you to get very detailed. Primary benefits, secondary benefits. Let's take a look at raising sales 15%. If I raise sales 15%, here are some of my benefits. I will elevate my personal income. I'll feel better about myself. It'll raise my level of confidence. It'll lead to more opportunities for more business. I'm going to hit my personal financial goals. I'm going to be able to go on that vacation that I've always wanted to go on. It's going to provide me career advancement. It could lead to early retirement. It could lead to more referrals. It could lead to new relationships being built. It's going to result in less stress in my life. I'm hitting that goal. That's going to enable me to buy that new car I wanted to buy. You know what? I'm going to be able to do more for my church. I can donate to my church or donate to an organization in the community. So I just listed for you about 13 or 14 benefits, that detailed.
Yep.
If when it comes to the losing weight, losing 15 pounds, again, I'm going to look better. Discipline me.
You're broken up a little bit, Pete. You're cutting in and out.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
All right. Sorry about that. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay,
can you hear me?
We can hear you again. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Again, I was highlighting the benefits of losing 15 pounds. I'm going to have more confidence as a salesperson to be up in front of people. It's going to increase my confidence. I'm going to get more done. It's going to lead to less doctor visits to the hospital, to the doctor. I'm going to spend less on prescriptions, less medicine. So once again, I'm going to encourage you to be that detailed. Really be detailed on all the benefits of you hitting that goal. What the benefits do here. I don't know any questions coming in, but so once again, identify your goal, and then I want you to list. Step 2 is all the benefits. All the benefits. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and anybody that's
number
out there
3.
that wants to ask a question,
Okay.
put it in the chat, and we'll try to answer the question and as we go. But at the end of our discussion, we'll also take questions. So we certainly encourage interaction. So guys, if you're
Excellent.
there and you've got a goal in mind and you want to talk about it, maybe
Yep.
put it in the chat.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, Pete.
Yep. So once again, I've identified my. Yep, you're good. Identified my goal, and then I've some benefits out there. Number 3 in your goal setting is I'm going to encourage you to lull the obstacles that you could run into. The way it's stated on my sheet, it's called major mountains or obstacles to climb to reach this goal. Again, someone may ask, why is that important? Because it's important to be ready for those obstacles, because for many of those obstacles, it's not a matter of if they happen, it's a matter of when those challenges will come along. So I want to be ready. So if I'm trying to raise sales 15% in my business, what might be some obstacles? Okay, some obstacles might be I may be working in a limited market. Obstacle might be my own personal discipline. Maybe I've got a challenging schedule for the next several months. Maybe there's limited funds. I have a limited travel budget to do my sales. Maybe I'm brand new to the territory, brand new to the business. That could be an obstacle. Maybe there's perceptions about your product that you need to overcome. Erroneous perceptions. Your confidence level could be an obstacle. Maybe my customers are hard to reach. How do I reach my customers? That could be an obstacle I put down. Maybe the market is declining, a tough economy. Maybe we're dealing with inflation. Maybe I've got some new competition moving into the area. Maybe I work as a salesperson. I've got some negative people that I've got to overcome. So once again, I listed about 13 or 14 different obstacles as I look at raising sales 15% as obstacles that I may run into. In all this builds on each other here. When we're talking about losing weight, losing 15 pounds, some of the obstacles might be, once again, my personal discipline. Maybe being invited to it's not a good thing with all my eating. I get tempted there. Certain individuals that are, hey, you want to go out to Wendy's and have a super duper shake tonight, whatever. My business travel could sometimes be an obstacle with eating or eating right. Not being able to follow an exercise program. Maybe it's a distance to the health club. And the schedule prevents from working out. Cost of buying equipment to help me out. Maybe I want to run outdoors and the weather could be an obstacle for me getting out there. Maybe I would like to have somebody else to work out with and I can't find anybody. And I will throw in an obstacle would be any rapid quick loss weight program, because I don't believe there is such a thing. So anyway, so those are obstacles to the goal. I want to list those out, because when I put together my action plan, I'm going to tackle those obstacles. All right, I see. Do you want me? I see a question in the chat. I can address it now, or can address it at the end of our time.
Well, we could do it either way you would like to do it, Pete. I mean, we could real quickly talk about wholesaling in Puerto Rico, and we could run through the benefits of it and the problems that are with it that I see. I mean, I could do what you just did, or we could move through and then address it later.
I'm comfortable with either because, and why don't we do it? I mean, if you want to address that, since your background in real estate, as to what might be some challenges
yeah, I can do that. So Jose is asking about he lives in Caguas.
Thank you, Joe from Caguas for.
Yeah, Joe from Caguas, and he wants to become a wholesaler, which is a great way to start a real estate investing business and an admirable goal. And I hope he's successful with this. And you can count me, Joe, as someone who you can shop your deals to as you get them. We're always looking for great deals. So what would be some of the benefits to becoming a wholesaler on the island of Puerto Rico? You're starting a business that can give you great cash flow. You're going to create opportunity for yourself and others, and you're going to be a really popular person if you're bringing people great deals on the island. There are an abundance of properties on the island that need someone to find them, identify the deal, and then pass it on to someone else down the line to come in and fix it up. So you're going to be improving the island potentially. You're going to be able to provide housing for people. You're going to be able to create jobs for people as buildings get renovated. So if you're wholesaling and you're identifying properties that are in distress and they come out of distress, you create jobs, you create housing, you create opportunities. There's 10 or 15 reasons that it's a really good idea, and I highly encourage it. What are some of the struggles that will be presented to you? And there are a lot, right? So data is an extremely difficult thing to find on the island of Puerto Rico. So that's one thing. This could be a negative or a positive, but there is a big difference between the island with real estate for sale versus the states and the real estate for sale. So what do I mean by that? There's not an MLS. There's not a centralized place that you can just go and look for real estate. So you're going to have challenges of actually finding people who are selling distressed properties and finding realtors who will understand what you're trying to do. In Puerto Rico, it's not as common as it is in the States to accept a contract that someone is going to sell. So that's going to be a challenge that you have. All of these things you can overcome, but those are some of the challenges. I didn't list as many of the challenges that I did the benefits, because I think the benefits far outweigh the challenges, and I want to completely encourage you to do this business. So, we could talk offline, Joe, if you want to connect with me, and maybe you've come to the Breakfast Club, but you're welcome to. It's every Saturday. So anyway, so that's what you just did, Pete. Hopefully now we can keep going with what do we do next? How does Joe turn this goal into something that's fruitful for him?
Well, excellent, Robbie. So we've identified the goal, clear, well-defined, specific. We've highlighted the benefits. We've highlighted the obstacles, potential obstacles and challenges. Number 4, step 7 steps is, what are the skills or knowledge I need to attain? Where do I need to have development or some skills so that I'm in a good position to achieve this goal? So I'll go with the sales example of raising sales 15%. Something I may need to gain. I may need to take a class or get better at relationship building and building rapport with people. I may need to go to a class on communication, or what I call emotional IQ. Business people. I may need some help with my confidence or motivation. I may need to have some skills about my market and know my market better. I need to maybe have a better understanding of the product that I'm marketing. I need to know how to better deal with rejection. Maybe I need need to go and better selling techniques as I try to market my. Do I need to leverage social media? Do I need to learn about advertising and marketing? Do I need to learn about LinkedIn and how best I leverage LinkedIn? Um, where if I'm working for somebody else, where's my latitude for negotiating? So those are things, there's knowledge and skills that I write down that I need to make sure that I have a good handle on so I can achieve the goal. Going to the weight loss goal. If I'm trying to lose weight, skills and knowledge, I need to know the right foods to eat. I need to know the right foods to stay away from, maybe. Know about exercise and training programs. I may need to know how to stretch properly before I do my workout. I may need to know about different equipment that will help me reach my weight loss goal. Are there exercise apps or are there some videos? I need to know about safety to make sure I don't overdo it and injure myself. I need to know about vitamins and supplements if I'm trying to lose weight. So again, those are things that I'm identifying as what I need to know to put me in the best position to get to that weight loss goal of losing 15 pounds. So that's step 4.
Do you want me to go for
step
it? Go
number
through
5
that for Joe?
of the 7. Yeah, let's go that for Joe. Yeah, let's do that.
All right,
of
for
what could
Joe,
be some
so
things
what are the things
are
that
not.
I need to do to become a wholesale of real estate? I'm going to need to learn a market, right? So I'm going to need to know what's being sold in the market, what valuations can I put on things, because the data is very difficult. I would think that you'd want to go to the markets that are the hottest on the island. So those would be the places where you're seeing the neighborhoods rapidly changing and becoming better. You're going to need to figure out contracts. How are you going to write a contract to buy something and then give yourself an ability to wholesale it or sell your contract so that you don't have to come up with the cash to close? Or you're going to need to know where you can get the cash to close, which a lot of this stuff you can get through the Breakfast Club or from us. What else do you need to know to be a wholesaler? I think what types of deals are your potential buyers going to want? Do they want value add? Do they want properties that are cash flowing? What's your buyers list look like? How am I going to build a buyer's box? So if I'm you, Joe, I'm trying to put together a buyer's list of successful real estate investors, and I would go to them and ask them, what are they looking for? And then I would go find what they're looking for and bringing it to them. So I hope those are some things that are along the lines of what Pete's trying to get out there, and that would be helpful for you.
Outstanding, Robbie. Thank you. That's great. And hopefully, again, like I said, Joe, you're getting some good tips there. So we've gone through identifying the goal, the benefits. What are the obstacles? What are some skills and knowledge I need to attain that? Okay, step number 5. Are there any individuals, groups, companies, or organizations that I can work with to reach this goal? Okay, so any individuals, any groups or team or companies or organizations I can work with to reach this goal. So example, with building sales, first of all, it could be my supervisor can help me out. Maybe there are some other sales trainers that are doing well, that I can or sales colleagues that are doing well that can.
Pete, you cut out again.
Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay.
We lost you there for 15 or 20 seconds completely.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that. So again, individuals, my supervisor, other sales trainers, any colleagues in the business that are doing well that I can learn from. Maybe join a local Toastmasters group to improve my presentation skills. Maybe I need an accountability partner on your performance coach. Your signal came in and out. Weight loss goal of 15, losing 50. Running a walking group, a running group here in Orlando that I train folks with. Maybe a Facebook group I can other friends for encouragement. Maybe I can join a health club. Maybe I can join a sports league. Maybe there's other exercise groups, or maybe there's Weight Watchers groups, or there's online groups that I can be a part of to help me and keep me accountable, encourage me with the weight loss. So again, I'm identifying individuals, groups, companies, or organizations that can help me reach this goal. So Joe, with your goal, I'm sure Robbie has some ideas about. So you mentioned something about the Breakfast Club, and maybe you're out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think meeting every realtor, everybody who's a professional in real estate that you can, meeting mortgage brokers, all kinds of business owners. You want to go out and meet these people and tell them what your plan is, what your business model looks like. Part of your last little, the last part of your question here about the Breakfast Club, this would be a great place to come and network. And you can come every Saturday morning on the island. Through Rio Rico, they put on what we call the Dealmakers Breakfast Club at 7:30 a.m. We meet in the San Juan metro area. We used to do it at my house. We just sold the house, so we're sort of floating between venues right now. But it's still every Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. You can find it on Eventbrite. You can find it by this chat. I'll get you the information. You can shoot me an email, and I'll get you the information. But I highly encourage joining the Rio Rico as a resource for you to get yourself around other real estate investors and professionals and tell them what you want to do, and that will start to build your buyers list. So I hope that we can see you at the Breakfast Club, Joe, and maybe even this Saturday, but any Saturday that you're around, we would love to connect.
Thank you, Robbie. Again, excellent example of people, individual groups, organizations that I can get some support from to help me reach the goal that I have. So,
Yep.
So that is step number 5 of the 7-step formula. Number 6 is plan of action to reach the goal. Now, if I've been very diligent and disciplined with doing steps 1 through 5, step 6, putting together the plan of action, is not going to be that difficult. By the goal, I've identified the benefits, I've identified potential, identified skills I need, and I've identified some people and organizations that can help me out. So step 6, I put that together in the action plan. So again, to put some teeth to this, what would be my action plan for reaching 15%, increasing 16%? Well, my action plan is I'm going to build a schedule every day using my weekly or monthly planner to discipline my sales calls. So I'm going to attend developmental seminars to help me with my skills. I'm going to sign up to receive sales tip podcasts. I'm going to set up a new tracking system for my customer contacts. I'm going to upgrade my website or my LinkedIn page. I'm going to build a Facebook presence. I'm going to plan an accountability with a partner. So somebody's going to hold me accountable doing the things I need to do. I'm going to use positive language to help me with my motivation. I'm going to plan little mini celebrations when I make a sale. I'm going to establish an system of follow-up. I'm going to schedule daily practices and rehearsals of my communication and my presentation. And I'm going to review commonly asked questions when I encounter potential clients. So that's my game plan. That's the plan of action that I'm putting together for reaching 15%. For that weight goal of losing 15 pounds, I'm going to start an exercise program. I'm going to own an eating program. That I need to cut out of my diet. And I'm also going to increase the frequency of my eating to 5 times a week, 5 small meals, 5 times a week, 5 times a day, pardon me. I'm going to drink a lot more water. I'm going to make sure that I get my proper rest because that factors in the weight loss. I'm going to buy a treadmill. I'm going to have somebody call me on to keep me accountable every week. I'm going to sign up for an app that will guide me food intake. Again, lots of detail to help me get to my goal of 15% or 15 pounds lost. So once again, Joe, with your goal, as we've been walking you through there, take a look at, and part of your action plan per Robbie's guidance is I'm going to be a regular attender of the Breakfast Club and network
Yeah.
with folks that are attending and learn from them. So things like that. I don't know if Rob, you have any more for action plan items, but
Oh boy, I do. So I started out as a wholesaler a long time ago, guys, and there are all kinds of ways that you can get started. Here in Puerto Rico, though, I think it involves looking at real estate every single day. Everything that might be for sale is for sale. You look at it and train yourself to make offers. Lots and lots and lots of offers. So if you want to be a wholesaler, you're going to make offers every day. You should be making as many offers on real estate that's for sale as you possibly can, and building the buyers list that we talked about earlier. So that means networking in all kinds of places like the Rio Rico or Uncommon Entrepreneurs is another group that's on the island here. There are some pretty easy steps to take to become a wholesaler, but the thing that is most important is that you're offering to buy real estate and you get it under contract, and then you submit it out to your buyers list. So I hope you do this business, Joe. I'm really excited about it. I know that there's going to be more people who want to get in this business in Puerto Rico, and it's vital to the recovery of the island. So I love it.
Yeah.
Let's keep going, Pete.
Excellent. Thank you, Robbie. That was fantastic. So the last step number 7. Okay, just to review, we've identified the goal. We have identified the benefits, identified potential obstacles. We've identified what are some skills that I need to improve upon to get better, be in a better position to reach the goal. What are some individuals or groups or companies or organizations I can help me with reaching the goal? We put together a plan of action. Number 7, date. When's this going to be accomplished? And it's amazing how many folks kind of neglect this step. When is this going to get done? Okay, so I need a tangible date. That so in this case, let me say I'm going to build sales by 15%. Let's say I want to do that in 3 months. So today being December the 8th, so by March 8th is when I want to see my volume level 15%. Okay, so I write that down, March 8th, 2023. Same thing with the weight loss goal of losing 15 pounds. I think it's a very sensible to have that 15 pounds lost by in 3 months also. So by March 8th, I put that down as my completion date. So that's what I'm aiming at. So I make the goal time bound. So again, Jose, as you put together goals per Robbie's guidance there, what may be a realistic goal? I mean, again, take a look at what you're trying to accomplish and set a goal there.
Yeah, and Joe, around that, you can set goals about how many properties a month that you plan to wholesale next year. How many offers a day does that mean you have to make in order to get enough properties under contract, in order to sell enough properties to do whatever it is that is your goal? Right now, it's coming up on the end of the year, and if you haven't started your business yet, maybe a good goal for you would be to have a piece of real estate under contract before the end of the year, and then you're wholesaling it in January and hitting the ground running. Maybe you're already doing many of this stuff, and so it's just about expanding. And you did so many last year, and how many are you going to plan to do next year? And you can set monthly goals, you can set quarterly goals, and you can set yearly goals that'll all be very easy to measure for you. So it's all based around how many transactions can you close, which comes down to a formula of how many offers do you have to make, and at the same time you're building that buyers list. So I
Great.
love it.
Thank you, Robbie.
It gets me excited, especially when someone wants to start the business I love, right? Like, that's cool.
Oh yes, absolutely. I see another question that came in about defining realistic timeframes being new in real estate. Again, that's a great question, and you got to take a look at what your capacity level is. And I don't know if you're doing it. You've got other responsibilities. So I encourage people that are new to goal setting, set goals that are and timelines that are very, very achievable. I would rather have you build some momentum. Hey, I hit it there. Man, I accomplished that 2 weeks. So build momentum And then you can start pushing yourself with those timelines. Maybe I can accomplish a little bit more in a shorter timeline. So I would rather you give yourself some grace and some maybe some margin time. But yeah, I do encourage you. You got to take a look at what's realistic here. But as we talked earlier, and Robbie mentioned this also, setting some big goals that will really push you.
Yeah. Yeah, some
Yeah,
things, you know, kind of based around real estate in Puerto Rico, I could chat about really quick. Timelines, as far as like if you're looking for a house and you get it under contract, how much time do you give yourself to close it? In the States, it might be 45 days. In Puerto Rico, it's a bit longer than that. It's probably 60 to 90 days. So when go back to Joe, who's a wholesaler, and he's making offers, make offers that give yourself a long enough window that you can find the buyer and that they can get it closed. So maybe give yourself at least 60 days, but maybe as much as 90 days so that you have a reasonable timeline that you can get a transaction closed. In Puerto Rico, things just go a little bit slower here than they do back in the States, Pete. It's really kind of nice in some ways, and it'll drive you bonkers in other ways. But yeah, just give yourself enough time that you can get things done, right? I think that's the point.
Yep, exactly. So as we, I know we're moving in kind of the final section of our time here today, but I do get asked the question, Pete, how do I stay with it? How do I keep it going? Because persistence is very important. A lot of times I'll say persistent wears out. I have a lot of quotes here. Persistent wears out resistance. Persistence wears out resistance there. But staying motivated, once again, know your why. Why am I doing this? Make sure your why is very compelling and you know why you want to accomplish what you want to accomplish. It is something that needs to be done every day. If this is a goal that I'll work on the weekends, it's going to be tough sticking with it. But if this is something I'm doing every day, that helps. It's great to have accountability. I've got some folks here in Orlando that will hold me accountable, doing the right things. Make sure you surround yourself with encouraging people that say, "Hey, I believe in you. You can do this." My running group, our theme is "Together Has Power." So when you are running with other people going the same direction you are, there's power in that. That helps you stay motivated. Read material that helps you out. Stay motivated. Listen to audio. Establish benchmarks. So you have your big goal, but have here in the next week, in the next 2 weeks, have benchmarks that are going to get you eventually to the big goal. Celebrate your small wins. Sometimes we wait for something big to happen at the very end, but celebrate along the way. You got a contract. Celebrate that. Okay, just to punctuate it in some way, in your own way. Revisit your plan all the time. And lastly, positive mental visualization. I cannot state enough the connection between the mind and the body. And so you have got to believe it and see it in your mind. Visualize your success. Visualize those 100 contracts that you're going to get in the next year, whatever it might be. So those are some things with staying with it. I'm going to let Robbie speak here about a story called The Story of the Chinese Bamboo Tree that will be very compelling to help you stay motivated with your goal. But I'm going to save that for the very, very end here. But Robert, anything else you'd like to add? I'm looking at another question. Yeah, there's some comments that just came in from Crypto Biker.
Yeah, I was reading that from Crypto Biker. I would love to connect with you. And one of my goals, Pete, is through this channel to encourage people like Crypto Biker to come back to the island of Puerto Rico, because for years and years on this island, the opportunity either didn't exist or it was very small. And so people felt like they had to leave the island to go out and find opportunity in the mainland. I believe that over the last few years since Hurricane Maria, the paradigm has shifted, and there is now, today as we speak, a booming economy in Puerto Rico. There is opportunity in Puerto Rico, and I just encourage anyone who's got a heritage here, a tie to this island. I know, Pete, your family's from Mayaguez.
Yes. Yes.
There's so much talent on the island that's here now, but there's a population problem, and we need people who have a love for and a tie to this island to come back and realize some of this opportunity that's here. It's really, now when you go around Puerto Rico, the streets are paved with gold for people who are entrepreneurial, for people who are doers and can come and get things done. There has not been this kind of excitement and this kind of economy in Puerto Rico in kind of a 12, 13-year period, much more than a decade though. And this is a new development, and it's probably not known, or it's not as known. So one of my goals again is to just encourage people come back to the island and be entrepreneurial and get out of the rat race and set big goals, dream big, all of that stuff. I love this conversation about goal setting. I love doing it at the time of the year that we did it. I hope that it was super impactful for everyone who watched us. I apologize, guys, for some of the sound quality on this. We had some connection problems, I think, on my end and on Pete's end a little bit. But great job, Pete, man. That's, as always, you really have a great strategy and formula, and you just put it in simple terms about how we can do it. What you said earlier, you can double your income by setting goals. Basically, that's what you said. You didn't say it that way, Pete, but the research would show that if you don't set goals and you start to set goals, you're going to double your income. Come on.
Big things happen.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. So tell us about the Chinese bamboo.
Yes, thank you. Yes. And again, thank you, Robbie. Thank you, team that's working behind the scenes from the technical side. And thank you for all the folks that have signed into this and who will be signing into this and listening to this. But I'll leave you with this here because, and again, as a speaker, as a trainer in my business, I have a lot of stories, a lot of true stories, and a lot of illustrations that really speak to life. And so the story of the Chinese bamboo tree applies to goal setting here. The Chinese bamboo tree is a tree grown in East Asia. And what the growers of the Chinese bamboo tree will do is they'll carefully plant the seeds in the ground, and then they'll water and fertilize the area where those seeds are at. So after 1 year of watering and fertilizing the ground, there's no tree coming out of the ground. So they continue to water and fertilize the area where those seeds are at. After year number 2, still no tree coming out of the ground. They continue to water and fertilize. Year number 3, still no tree coming out of the ground. Can you imagine what your neighbors might be thinking if you had to check this plant in your front yard? Hey, where's your tree? Okay. So they continue to water and fertilize. Year number 4, still no tree coming out of the ground. They continue to water and fertilize. Year number 5. At some point in time in year number 5, a tree starts to break through the ground. And once the tree breaks through the ground, over the next 6 weeks, that tree will grow up to 90 feet tall. Now, let me ask this. How did it take 6 weeks?
Pete, we lost
6 weeks if you want to get
there.
technical. Because those that grow, those that grow the Chinese bamboo tree know that anytime they stop watering and fertilizing the ground, that tree will die in the ground. And there's, for some of you out there, you may say, hey, Pete, I'm trying to do all the right things. I'm following the formula, and I haven't seen my results quite yet. I'm working hard. I'm trying to do all the right things, but I haven't seen it yet. Don't give up. Don't let what you're working on die in the ground. As you set big goals, okay, they take time. It takes persistence. It takes perseverance. It takes having a positive attitude. It takes patience. Don't give up on what you're trying to accomplish. You stay with it. You keep doing the right things. Keep applying those 7 rest as you need to, as I have. Keep at it, and your results will come. With your bamboo tree of success and results are going to come as a result of your goal setting. Thank you very much.
Man, that is awesome, and that is encouraging. I also love the idea of, thinking a little bit longer term. So we're setting goals sometimes for next week, next month, maybe next year.
Yeah.
But setting goals for 5, 10 years out, those are the goals that change your life, right? When you
Yeah.
accomplish a big goal that took you 10 years and you look back on everything that you had to go through to get there, there's some growth, right? There's your 90-foot
Yep.
tree just comes out of the ground.
Yep.
You hit it right on the head, Pete. That's
Yep.
exactly right. Don't give up. Don't stop. Jimmy V used to say it, right? Don't give up. Don't
Yep.
ever give up. That is
Right.
key to it. Just keep working hard, and it will happen.
Yep.
I tell people all the time. I've got a no overnight. It's start a business, work your ass off for 14 hours a day or 12 hours a day or whatever you can do. Work till you bleed. Do that for 10 years straight, and sometime overnight, one night, you're going to be a very successful person, and you'll probably be rich
Yeah.
at that point, right? It may not happen the first
Yeah.
night, but it will happen overnight, a lot like that bamboo
Right.
tree does, right?
Yeah. That's right.
So, well,
Amen.
man,
That's
that
right.
was awesome. Thank you so much, Pete. I know you have another engagement that you've got to get to, so I don't know if you have a couple of minutes if there's more questions that we could answer, or if we just need to
I can
call
hang
it
on.
here.
Yeah.
But
I can. I'm okay. It's 2:30 right now. It's not till 3 o'clock, so I'm okay. If anybody has any additional questions, I'll be glad to hang around.
yep. So if anybody's got any questions, then we'll try and answer them real quick. And if not, we'll call it. And what a good conversation. I hope that was as encouraging to everyone who tuned in as it was for me. But Pete, if it wasn't encouraging to anyone else, it's highly encouraging to me. So I just appreciate you so much. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Well, I appreciate you, Robbie. Appreciate our listeners, folks that have tuned in, and those who will see this in the future. And again, my name is Pete Folch. My organization is Second Wind Finish Strong. So if you go secondwindfinishstrong.com, you'll find me. I'm also on LinkedIn. So whatever needs you have with whether it be golding, leadership, team building, just any kind of coaching. If you need a speaker to encourage your group, give me a call. Be glad to work with you and to help your group here. But thank you again, Robbie. Best of success to with all that you're doing with Puerto Rico Consultants and making a difference in the island of Puerto Rico. No question about it. I know from previous conversations, and you and I have dialogued a little bit. You're making a tremendous impact, and that goes beyond the business success, but you're making a difference in the lives of people, and that's very powerful. So thank you for all you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. That is our heart, right? Is to help as many people as we can. Not even help. We want to encourage. We want to inspire. We want to just let people know about the possibilities that are out there. I say on the channel often that I believe that the next, the best, the greatest is always right around the corner. I think that anybody who's listening to this and is setting goals, there's greatness inside of you guys. We believe in you. We think you can do it. And a lot of times people haven't ever heard that before. And I started telling people that, Pete, because of you. Actually, because of you. I've told you this before. The first time I called you, I got a voicemail from you. And after I left you the voice message, I hung up and I'm like, my God, I feel good. I don't remember what the voice message said, but it was basically like, you have a wonderful, fantastic, excellent day. And I hung up the phone and thought, holy cow, I feel really good. I'm going to call Pete again. So I like to just encourage people and tell them that I believe that there's greatness in them and that they can do it. And if they've never heard it before, they hear it from us.
That's right.
I think
that's
they
right.
can do it.
That's right. Amen. So true.
Well, thank you guys all for tuning in and spending a little bit of time today. And for those of you guys that are seeing this after we were live, like and subscribe to the channel, guys. We try and put out one of these lives a week right now. Just bring you content that brings value. And we would love to connect with you whenever you're on the island. Come to a breakfast club. Pete, I want to invite you. You've got to come to Puerto Rico. Bring the family. We've got
I do. Yeah.
We'll have a great time if you come.
Yeah. Definitely. We'll get it planned there.
Down in Rincon, we've got a place right on the beach, and you can connect with your family. So they're in Mayaguez, one
That would
town
be
over.
great. I
So
love it.
let's plan
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again.
All right.
I think that
Thank
about
you,
wraps it
everyone.
up then. Thanks a
All
lot,
right.
guys. Have a
Thank
good
you very
day.
much. Gracias. Bye. Adios. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Is it off?